Hey everybody, this is MyCollectables coming back with another video, and I want to talk about the DC NFT platform and this comic book drop that happened today and ask the question to everybody in the community, is it worth it? Is it worth it to spend all that time to go after these comics that DC is putting out? Because it's been a bunch of weeks now and we've had a chance to sort of review how the system works, and I know they're still working through some glitches, but I want to ask, is it really worth it to sit there this whole time? I'm going to give you my answer, and I'm going to break down some of the stuff that happened to people today, all the different experiences that people had doing this drop, including my own. So if you do like this video after you watch it, make sure you hit like and make sure you comment down below. I want to know how this experience on the DC platform has gone for you. I don't want to hear like just a bunch of FUD. I want to hear actual like, you know what happened and how you're feeling about it. That kind of thing, because I love the DC platform. I'm all in on these comics. I'm totally there. But man, does it take a lot of time, right? And so make sure you comment down below. And you can also follow me out on Twitter. The link's in the description of all my videos. We can continue to talk about this there as well over the next bunch of weeks. But this is quite fresh, okay? This is November the 23rd. Now, we were supposed to get the Detective Comics 38. This is the first appearance of Robin. We were supposed to get that comic actually on the 22nd, but there was that big glitch error, at the beginning of the day where, the people who had back cowls were able to pre-drop, get in there and get a few, but then, they were rewarded like every single variation of the comic, so they had to back out, and you can watch my last video about that. They had to postpone it to today, right? So here we go. Today, we had the longest, I swear to God, it must have been the longest drop I've ever experienced. And I've been on some waitlist queues before. NBA Top Shot's got that waitlist before, and some few other projects. But this one was quite crazy. And people, like, once you got there at 8:30 a.m., this is kind of how it happened for me. So I get there at 8:30, get into the queue. I'm like, I can see that it shows the countdown. So the countdown's coming. At 9 a.m., there it goes. It starts to load. And I guess it just randomly puts you into a space, like, into a position. So I was like 50,000th or something like that, right? So I had to wait over an hour. And just so you know, everybody, I actually got one of them today. I could not believe it. I actually landed the uncommon on the drop after waiting in the queue for over an hour and then getting into the site. So I get into the site after an hour, and I was in the Twitter spaces and I was online listening to everybody. You got to work hard for this. I spent the whole hour doing this. I got in, and once I got in, I knew what to do, or at least I thought I did. I went to the buy now page, and then, I could refresh until I could see the buy now button. When the buy now button came up, I hit it. And, I couldn't get one. That little red bar came at the top. So then I went out and I went to my collection. And then I went back to the main page by hitting the Palm logo. And then I hit the buy comic again. So it took me to that buy screen. And then I saw that buy now button pop up. This happened. I repeated this about 3 times in about 5-minute span. And I managed to actually land when I hit the buy, and one came up. So this told me that they're holding some of these back. They're not just like, they're not getting all sold out in the first 5 minutes. So here's some of the stuff that happened to people, right? So people who actually logged in and they got put in the line and they were in like position 1,000 or 2,000, well within the range, to get in. This is in the line, in the queue. And then they got onto the site. They were getting a sold out. And they hadn't even sold out because there wasn't enough people to get in there. So there was speculation about bots getting there early and jumping past the queue and stealing them all. But I'm not sure that's happened. I think what's happening is it's just randomly, they're getting released, I think, over the whole course of the hour. And so, like, someone like me who comes in a whole hour later was actually able to land one, and it was getting closer to when the market was going to open and the reveal was going to happen. I mean, so, you just had to keep trying, right? So that's what happened to some people. They got in. They were like 1,000 position or 450 position or whatever, and weren't able to get one, and then they got booted back out and all this kind of stuff. So that's crazy. Then people were trying to buy, and this is something else that happened to people, and they got a technical error glitch where they were literally hitting the buy, and it said, oh, the technical error, and they actually were on the screen to buy it, and they couldn't buy it, and then they had to go back out and all that kind of stuff. Another one that happened is people got hit with the CAPTCHA and lost their chance to buy because somebody might have swooped in and snagged it. So that experience I heard. And then I'm just reading over here. Then people said it was sold out and then they refreshed it and then they went in and out of their collections like I did and they were able to get one. So that's sort of how I did it. Then people like are upset at the process about all of this in and out and uncertainty and not sure what's going on, if there's some, if there's not. It's quite crazy, right? It's not because they didn't actually land the comic. It's because they whether they got one or not wasn't the point. It was just the process. It wasn't fun. It's too drawn out. It's long. All this kind of stuff, right? People got a sold out message and then they keep refreshing and then they got the buy now back and they were able to get one or not. All these different kind of experiences. People had the finalizing the payment screen. So they got one, okay, and they were finalizing the payment and then the payment just wouldn't go through. Right? They had that happen as well, right? So like it was all this crazy stuff that was going on today. And it really seemed like it didn't matter when you got in line. It just mattered that you got in line. And once you got to the site, you just had to refresh to get that buy now button back. And then maybe you would get one. So that's what happened to me. I got one. So I literally got one at 10:03 a.m. Okay, and I used my credit balance, not my credit card, because I had a balance in there too. So that's an interesting thing. So it took over an hour, right? And then this was like before that, because 8:30 a.m. is when you really are on there. And then at 10 a.m., you still got to wait to see what you got, because if I got mine at 10, I still had to wait till after 11, to get one. And then if you're trying to get into the marketplace to buy, you have to wait too. So the whole thing, okay, from start to finish, took me at least 3 hours today to land one comic book. All right. And so I don't mind working hard. Like, this is not what it's about. I don't mind working hard for these NFTs. I don't mind putting the time in. I don't mind like learning how to do the process, all that kind of stuff. But is it really worth it to everybody else? This is the question I'm asking. For me, it's worth it on a comic like today. This comic is quite a beautiful, big, awesome comic, right? I love this one. I'm willing to put the time in. But am I willing to do this kind of thing for the other comics, the newer stuff? And I got to tell you, I don't think so. Like the time that it takes to go through all this is way too much. And, I'm not trying to throw a lot of shade at DC NFT. I think their site, I think it looks really good. I think they're working their way towards stuff, and on a comic like this, you're going to get tons of traffic. So it's not going to go perfect. But they do need to really shave down the time that it takes for this kind of process. Not a lot of people have the time for this, 3 or 4 hours. And what it really is about, it's not about landing the comic. It's about the user experience. People are not having fun doing this. Some people are really all over it because this is what you got to do. And then if you win one and all that kind of stuff, and they love being in the market. But a lot of people are not having a good time with this kind of thing because it takes too much time. You got to come out of work, you got to cancel an appointment or whatever. You got to stay where you're at. And, like for 3 hours, I think that's a bit too much. So my critique would be to DC NFT, if you're watching, which I'm not sure if you would, yeah, I love you and I'm all over this platform and I'm a back cow holder and I'm in there for life. Like I'm good to go. But this has got to be, tightened up in my opinion. That's my review, is to tighten it up. What we need is a faster process, more people in there at the same time. I know the people who work hard like I did today and the other people, it's going to affect our ability to get it because, if it makes the process easier, it'll be easier for more people to get it. So I recognize that. But if we want this platform to grow and we want this space to grow, we're going to need to have like a smoother process. So I think DC, you guys will be working on it. I'm hoping you are, and I'm hoping this will smooth out and you'll get more servers. Like tomorrow's Black Friday, basically. It's Thursday tomorrow. It's the Thanksgiving in the United States. So Friday's coming up. We can hit we can hit like Best Buy and buy some more servers, get some more so people can get in there, have more load on this site, right? But anyway, let's get back to the thing about how to do this. Okay, so this is the strategy now, guys, that I found out. And so listen very closely about the strategy. This is the way we're going to do it unless they get more servers or whatever, is that join the queue. It doesn't matter. It doesn't seem to matter when you get into the website, okay? You could be 50,000th in place like I was waiting to get in and an hour later, or it looks like you could be number 1,000 or number 400. When you finally get in on a comic of this magnitude, don't give up, okay? The thing you got to do is you got to go to the buy now screen. You got to like refresh, okay? You know, up in the corner, just refresh. Don't refresh too many times quickly. You'll get booted out. Just refresh every few seconds, you know, and if you see that buy now button, you hit it, bang. And if you hit that buy now button and you get that little red bar at the top, what you got to do is quickly just click onto your collection so it takes you off that page. Then go back to the main home page by clicking the Palm logo, and that'll take you to the main home page, and then you can hit the buy comic again. It'll take you into the comic screen, and you might see the buy now button there. So then you can just refresh, and if the buy now pops up, hit it, and you might get in and be able to buy one. That's how it worked for me, everybody. And it's really cool that, it's really cool that it takes this long in some ways that I was able to get one. I mean, I'm happy. But I would rather know in the first few minutes if I got one, to be honest. I mean, I got a lot of stuff to do, and I'm sure you do too. That would be my critique. So let me know in the comment section what you think about the whole process, how DC is doing. Let's give them some good positive feedback. Let's give them some good constructive feedback. Let's not crap all over them, because that's not what I'm doing here. I want to give some good feedback, and then the system will get better, because I love these comics. They look fantastic. Anyway, let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next video. Happy collecting.